Joining me now to discuss Austan Goolsbee, former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors. Austan, there's all sorts of reasons we are not seeing people back to work, whether it's international workers who can't get J-1 visas, childcare issues, health issues, take your pick. But does all this get worked out in the next couple of months? I mean, you've got all these businesses at the same time trying to rehire. That's going to settle down come September.
I think that's right. I mean, the thing to remember is we've never hired as many people as rapidly as the economy is doing right now. We've never grown as fast as we plan to be growing coming out of this downturn. It's interesting that in all of the countries, or in many of the countries where they're coming out of COVID, if you look at the UK, for example, they got a bunch of the same labor shortages, and they can't find chefs to cook in quick restaurants. And if they have summer camps, they're going to be having the same problems. I do think a lot of this is just because, you know, when the town reopens after the winter, you got to brush out the spiders, you got to open. There are a bunch of problems, and hopefully they can be worked out over a short run.
The New York Times is actually reporting that this could be good for teenagers. Higher wages, more incentives. Is that who's going to fill a lot of these roles? I can tell you, my 15-year-old started his first ever paying job last night scooping ice cream. And to be honest, we couldn't believe what a good job he got.
I thought you were going to say you were down there as the first customer. Then it would have been impressed.
We actually went in shifts, so it would seem like there was more customers on a rainy night. So we also, my mom went, I went, my husband went, like separate customers.
Yeah, don't tell. The boss is like, wow, this kid is bringing in business like no one has ever seen. Look, I do think that teenagers you're going to see some comeback. Now, it partly depends how much you think the COVID disease is a component of why people are not willing to go to work. And I've been, for a long time, a pretty big advocate of that view. Now teens can get the vaccine, but the vaccination rates of teens still remain much lower than of older adults. So whether teens can fill the entire hole is probably dubious, but I do think you're going to see a lot of non-traditional or ancillary parts of the job market where it's going to be quite strong because there's a lot of demand, and we're trying to put more people back to work faster than ever before.
We're seeing pockets of it, but do you really think we are going to see any significant wage increase that could stick with us for a while? You and I have been discussing for the last few years, worried that wages just weren't going high enough at any fast pace. Are we finally seeing it happen now?
Yeah, years we've been talking about that. We certainly saw for a month that wages were up, but I want to see some sustained real wage growth over and above inflation before we're going to count this as a victory. And I mean, it's worth remembering the sector that's having the hardest time hiring people. They're still hiring a lot of people, but leisure and hospitality. And if you look at restaurants, the minimum wage for a tipped worker is a little over $2 an hour. So you can see when tips are down during the pandemic, there are a bunch of people who do not want to go back to work for $2 an hour. So I think we need to see sustained wage growth for this to be a success.